Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Down to Earth Astronomy. This being an astronomy channel, we of course have to look at space exploration in Elite Dangerous. And my idea here is that instead of doing what most people do when they go out exploring, which is to buy a ship, fit some scanners on it, and just look at the nearest stars, fly around in a route maybe an hour or two, come back and make almost no profit. I mean, that would pretty much be equivalent to just take a magnifying glass and going out into your backyard and expect to discover a new country. So instead, what I'm planning to do is to take a quite long trip. First going to the Eagle Nebula. Here we see it. We have a nice big cluster of F-type stars out here. You can see them lighting up here in purple. And if we scroll out, you can see that this is quite a distance away. So I want to go out here. Preferably I want to go all the way into the center and then come back again. This is going to take, I mean, playtime wise, I guess this is going to take around 50 hours. So this is going to be quite a long trip. And if I scan a lot of stars on the way, hopefully this could give me quite a profit, and it will be quite an interesting experience. But again, as soon as we leave known space, there are no more stations. So pretty quickly, I'm gonna run out of stations. So I need to make sure that my ship can, of course, travel fast, and that it is self-sustaining. It must be able to survive for these weeks or maybe months in deep space without being able to dock. So here's my idea. Again, I'm not sure this is the best solution. I'm still a fairly new player, but I think this is the best solution I could come up with. Let's open up the starport services, and we need a ship because the Sidewinder is just not up for the task. And I think the best ship is the ASP. It is a bit expensive maybe, but it has a long jump range and a decent amount of internal compartments. So I think this is a decent ship for this task. So let's go ahead and purchase this ship. So we're just gonna buy this and sell the current Sidewinder. I mean, don't need that anymore. Okay, here we are. And I have gone ahead and already outfitted the ship, so I'm just going to show you guys how I decided to fit my ship for deep space exploration. First, you will notice that the small lasers that comes as standard are gone. This is because lasers are fairly heavy, or weapons in general are fairly heavy, and we want this ship to be as light as possible in order to make as long jumps as possible and to be as fuel efficient as possible. As you can see, in all my utility mounts, I have fitted Heatsink Launchers, simply because these allow me to eject some charges to lower the internal heating of the ship. If I'm in a situation where suddenly my ship begins to overheat, spend too much time close to a star, if I was fuel scooping, and I'm beginning to take heat damage, I need to be able to launch one of these before my ship takes too much damage, because we're not going to be able to dock up and repair. So this is just an emergency thing, and each of these fits 3 charges, so therefore I fitted for them. So I have I used all my utility slots actually, so I was sure that I had the required charges that I would need doing my trip. Now, internal compartment wise, a lot have happened here. I've kept the lightweight alloys because there's no weight. It doesn't weigh anything. They're great. Power plant wise, you can see I've downgraded from the standard class 5 to a class 3A. This was the lightest power plant that would give me the required power that I needed to actually run my ship. And again, weight is important. Weight is really the key thing you need to keep in focus here. It's the same thing with thrusters, pretty much. This was the lightest set of thrusters I could find, which gave me sufficient thrust to actually drive a ship with the mass that I have. So again, thrusters, go for the lightest you can possibly get. You're not gonna need the thrusters that much when we're exploring. We're gonna spend pretty much all our time in Super Cruise, so the actual thrusters are not that important anyway. Now, the frameshift drive. This is the big one. This is where you want to spend your money. I've upgraded to the best possible one I could get, Class 5A frameshift drive, because this is really the one that increases your jump range the most. For instance, you can see here, if I just go class descending, if I use the standard, I think it was a 5E that was on standard, you can see my jump range would be around 15 light years. Now, if I upgrade it, suddenly it jumps up to 32.8 light years. That's a huge improvement for range. Life support, the standard one was the 4E, and you can see I upgraded to a 4D simply because the mass. This is a lighter life support system, and it's actually also a little bit better. So definitely a good upgrade. Power distributor, same thing with the power plant, just as light as you can get it, that fits your needs. Sensors, again, upgraded that to the D class because it's lighter. Again, mass is an important thing here. So, fuel tank, we of course want the largest fuel tank available to us. And that's pretty much the standard slots. Then we go to the internal compartment. Because we cannot dock, we need to get all our fuel from the stars, so I decided to use my only class 6 slot for a fuel scoop. I brought a C class. You can buy a more expensive one if you want. I think a C class is sufficient, but that's really how much money you want to spend on the ship. Then I got 2 also field maintenance units. These work in a similar manner to the heat sinks. They have some built-in charges, and you can use these to repair modules. So if any of these modules get damaged from heat, or in combat for that matter, I can use these to repair them. Again, they have a limited amount of charges. That's why I fitted 2 of them, since I had 2 slots left. Yeah, so I decided to fit these 2, and that should allow me to make emergency repairs, just to get emergency modules back online if we need it. I had 2 class 3 size slots left, so I used them for fuel tanks, so we have additional fuel. Before we had, 32, and increased it by another 16. So that's an increase of about 50% my fuel capacity. Again, this is going to be important when we're doing long-range travel, so we don't need to fuel scoop that often. And then, of course, the 2 pretty much the most important, the detailed surface scanner and the advanced discovery scanner. We do need the advanced scanner because it has the full system range. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, my jump range is 32.8 light years, which I think is pretty good. And all that's left now is pretty much just to go over and have a look at the firing groups. As you can see, I have set up 2 firing groups. First one has the advanced discovery scanner, and the second group just has 2 of the Heatsink launchers. When they run out of charges, I'm gonna shift to the next 2. You could move one of them over here if you wanted. I just don't want to accidentally click and launch one of the charges, since I have a limited supply. And again, I think this ship should be able to take care of itself for a quite long journey. You might notice I do not carry a shield generator. Shield generators are generally very heavy, and again, I expect to spend 95% of the time in Super Cruise. And as soon as I get out of known space, I don't expect to encounter any kinds of pirates or players or anything at all, for that matter. So hopefully we can just fly around out there and don't really need the shield. I hope so, at least. Yeah, so this was the outfitting of the ship. I'm gonna be flying it around just for a bit to familiarize myself with some of the modules. And stay tuned for the next video, where we're going to actually take this ship for a spin and begin to head towards the Eagle Nebula. This is Down to Earth Astronomy. See you next time.